Welcome to Thoughts Roundup. We're headed back into a new week. Hey, let's talk about finance. Now, before you turn me off here, I'm not talking about finances today. I'm doing like most old men. I'm going back a ways and talk about finance. When Joan and I started evangelizing about almost 64 years now ago, $45 was a big payday per week. And of course you had to drive, and you had expenses, a lot of expenses. But if a church paid you $45, they give you a little brown envelope with cash in it. It's kind of like a little Sunday school envelope. And it had cash in it. Sometimes it had a lot of change in it. Well, Joan's car, or let me say our car. You see, whenever I got married, I didn't own a car. And Joan had a car. She was thrifty, and she always kept a job. And she had a car. You know, she bought that car from Brother Lumpkin, James Lumpkin. Some of you will remember that. That's Anthony Mangan's father-in-law, in fact. And Brother James Lumpkin was the secretary of Joan's class. And he was always kind of a wheeler-dealer, and in a quiet way. And he sold cars for some dealership there in Minnesota. And he sold Joan a car, and he saw it traded. She traded a little Ford in for it. And he saw to it that she got a car, a good car. And if I'm not mistaken, the car cost her about $38 a month, which was, pretty good. But if you think about it looking back, wasn't too much. Now, why didn't I have a car? I was paying for 3 cars one time and was walking. That's just how it was. I couldn't manage my business good. I couldn't, and I'd buy cars that was not solid and sound, and they just didn't last. And so when I got married to Joan up in Moline, Illinois, we drove away in her car. I should have been ashamed of that. But it couldn't do any different. Later on, whenever I was pastoring in Dallas, we won a man to the Lord, he and his family. And he called me one day and he said, "Brother Marler, I'm down at a car dealership and I'm thinking about trading cars. What do you think about it?" And he told me the story. I said, "Listen, let me tell you something, Brother Singleton. Let me tell you something. If it's something about church, if it's something about life, if I don't know the answer, I'll pray and get it for you to the best of my ability. But there's no use to call me and ask me about a car deal, whether it's good or not. I wouldn't have a clue. I was one time paying for 3 cars and walking. But we was talking about finance, and I kind of got off the trail there a little bit, as I often do. My dad made cross ties. That's the next time you see the trains laying on, you look at the cross ties. That's what they're crossed. And my dad would go cut down a tree, had a broad axe, they called it, and he hewed out green cross ties. That means the tree is new. And he would make those cross ties, throw them on his shoulder, which they were heavy. You know they had to be heavy. And he carried them out to a set. That means that he put them all in one place where a truck could come by and pick them up. And he got 10 cents for cutting it down, trimming the limbs off of the tree, sawing it, hewing out the cross tie, putting it on his shoulder and carrying it out. And he didn't stop till he did 10 of those a day, and that he was rewarded $1. $1, so he made $1 a day. My dad said the only job he ever turned down in his life was someone offered him 25 cents a day to plow in the field all day. I'm glad he turned it down. So we just kind of talk about yesteryear a little bit, and it might be so far back it might enlighten you a little bit. God bless you.